The growth of social networking sites, blogs and other online communication mediums has within the last decade allowed people to express themselves more freely than ever before. The impersonal nature of communicating from behind a computer screen and the non-compulsory requirement to validate one's identity when posting on such mediums has emboldened users of such platforms to freely express views they would otherwise not make in public. These views can be defamatory in nature and may be either an unintentional or deliberate attempt to damage the reputation of certain individuals or corporations. Through this video, we seek to educate consumers about the need to be careful about what they say online by examining online defamation, and more specifically, what it is, what actions can be taken, who can be held liable, and issues associated with anonymity. So what is online defamation? Well, to put it simply, it is the act of harming the reputation of another, individual or corporation by making a false statement of fact and publishing or broadcasting it on the internet, for example, on social networks, blogs, forums, and even search engine browsers. To make out an action of defamation, the defamed must show that 1. The material has been published or communicated to someone other than the defamed person. 2. The defamed person was identified in the published material. Identification does not necessarily need to be by name. It can be enough to include characteristics that enable a person to be identified. And 3. The published material has to be defamatory. Some example of things that could be found to be defamatory include saying that someone is corrupt, dishonest, or disloyal, suspected of committing or alleged to have committed an illegal act, suffering from a contagious disease or insanity, or even saying something that is likely to cause the person to be shunned or avoided, even if there is no suggestion of bad character. Anyone can be a target of online defamation, from young kids to adults, small businesses to major corporations. Even if the perpetrator of the defamatory material did not name you, as long as there is enough information for other people to recognize that the material is about you, you are a victim. So what motivates a person to make defamatory comments? In the case of individuals, it can result from broken relationships, jealousy, spite, or enjoyment derived from provoking others. With corporations, defamatory comments are often made to hurt competitors. Defamatory comments made online can have serious implications in the real world. For example, it has resulted in reported suicides, lost job opportunities, ostracization from the community, and loss of revenue for businesses. If you have been defamed online, before pursuing expensive legal action, the first step you should take is to request the publisher of the material to remove it. If they refuse to remove it, you can contact the website administrator, such as Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and request that the material be taken down. If the website administrator does not take any action, you should hire a lawyer and request that they send a letter to the publisher threatening legal action. And if that fails, have the lawyer bring the case before a court. If you decide to bring the issue before a court, make sure you keep a record of the hurtful comments, as it can be easily deleted. It is important to note that even if a publishing platform resides outside of Australia, you can still proceed with legal action for their publications in Australia. As one would expect, the publisher or author of the defamatory material will usually be liable. But what many people do not know is that anyone who republishes or distributes defamatory material written by someone else may also be sued. Therefore, the tendency today to immediately share material on Facebook and retweet Twitter comments needs to be approached with caution. However, generally the defamed person will often not pursue the author or republisher due to the difficulty that online anonymity may pose in identifying them, or the simple fact that the authors or republishers do not typically have deep pockets. This has led some to pursue claims against internet service providers and internet content hosts as publishers of defamatory material. In 2012, a Melbourne man and his lawyers brought an action against Twitter as the publisher of defamatory comments after hurtful comments were made about him by a Twitter user. Australian courts, though, are yet to determine whether internet content hosts and internet service providers should be considered publishers of defamatory material posted by users on their site, and accordingly held liable, although some degree of protection is afforded to ISPs and ICHs under existing Australian law. If you have defamed somebody online, you should remove the material immediately. If that person has made a written complaint that they have been defamed, you can apologize and offer to make amends in writing within 28 days. This must include an offer to publish a reasonable correction and to pay expenses reasonably incurred by the complainant until the time of the offer. If the defamed person rejects your offer and takes you to court, you do have a defense to defamation if the court finds that your offer was indeed reasonable. Other defenses that may be raised include proving that the comment was an honest opinion rather than a statement of fact, what you have published is substantially true, at least one of the imputations made are substantially true, the publisher was an unwitting distributor of defamatory material, circumstances of the publication were trivial to the extent that the person defamed was not likely to suffer harm. A major problem with online defamation cases is tracking or identifying perpetrators. This is because online users can conceal their true identities by using aliases and online handles. The only legal way to expose these individuals is by obtaining a court subpoena compelling the internet service provider or internet content host to disclose the true identity of these individuals. However, this is not necessarily easy to do and can be quite expensive, and is likely to be met with a lot of resistance from the internet service providers and internet content hosts due to the risk of being sued for breach of privacy. The availability of encryption technology such as Tor and HTTPS has also made it possible for online users to achieve online anonymity, negating the effectiveness of subpoenas to identify perpetrators. Defamation is usually a civil offense, although it can be a criminal matter under special circumstances. For it to be a criminal offense, a person must act with malice. That is, they must intend to cause serious harm to the person, or act without having regard to whether there is serious harm. For example, to broadcast a critical comment to get revenge would be seen as malice.